Welcome to Senior Health Video. This video will talk about the warning signs of clogged arteries that you don't know. What if the next time you felt a little tired climbing stairs, your body was actually warning you that a heart attack was days away? What if the cramp in your leg, the tightness in your jaw, or the shortness of breath while walking your dog was not normal? Aging, but a silent signal that your arteries were dangerously blocked. Most people have no idea that their arteries are slowly closing up. Every minute that passes without knowing the signs is a minute lost. Heart disease kills one person every 36 seconds in the United States. That is not just a statistic. That could be someone's spouse, parent, or best friend. Here's the shocking truth. Your body sends out warning signs long before a heart attack or stroke happens. But these signs are often ignored, brushed off, or misdiagnosed as stress fatigue or just getting older. And by the time someone realizes the truth, it's often too late. Imagine if you could recognize these red flags early. Imagine if you could stop a life-threatening event before it ever begins. That's what this video is about. Today you'll discover the 10 critical signs your arteries may be dangerously blocked. These are not vague or rare symptoms. They are common everyday issues that millions of Americans experience without realizing their true cause. And each one could be a warning from your heart, your brain, or your entire circulatory system. Backed by leading medical research from trusted institutions like the Mayo Clinic and the Cleveland Clinic, this guide will give you the knowledge to act before disaster strikes. Because blocked arteries don't announce themselves loudly, they whisper. And those whispers can be easy to miss until they explode into tragedy. So stay with us. Your body may already be trying to tell you something. And if you listen now, it could save your life. Number 1, chest discomfort. It never starts with drama, not in real life. No clutching the chest like you see in movies. Most people with blocked arteries describe it as a heaviness, a strange pressure, maybe a dull ache just behind the breastbone. They shrug it off, call it indigestion or stress. But what if that tightness is actually the first whisper from your heart? This warning sign is called angina, and it is often the very first sign that your coronary arteries are closing in. Imagine your heart is trying to work harder. Maybe you're walking up a hill or just feeling anxious, but the blood supply can't keep up. Plaque buildup chokes off oxygen-rich blood, and the heart muscle cries out in pain. Mayo Clinic researchers explain that angina is your heart's early distress signal. It can show up during activity and then fade when you rest. That pattern fools people. They think it is just fatigue, but what they are really experiencing is their heart struggling to stay alive. The pain may not even stay in the chest. It can spread to the arms, jaw, neck, or upper back, especially on the left side. This happens because the nerves in your heart are connected to other areas, so the pain travels. And that makes it even easier to mistake for something else. So what should you do if you ever feel pressure or tightness in your chest, especially if it comes with effort and goes away with rest? You need to talk to your doctor. You may need an EKG, a stress test, or a simple blood panel. This one step could stop a silent heart attack before it begins. A 64-year-old man named Thomas ignored his chest pressure for 6 months. He thought it was anxiety. It wasn't. His first heart attack hit while tying his shoes. He survived, but not everyone gets a second chance. But just knowing this isn't enough, because what comes next is even more dangerous a symptom. So subtle, many people think it's just poor fitness, when in reality it could mean your heart is running out of air. Number 2, shortness of breath. If chest discomfort is your heart's whisper, then shortness of breath is its cry for help. This symptom may appear subtle at first. You climb a few stairs and feel winded. You bend down to tie your shoes and need to pause. You find yourself breathing heavier during a walk that never used to tire you. This isn't just about aging or being out of shape. It's about your heart struggling to deliver oxygen through narrowed arteries. And when it can't keep up, your lungs try to compensate by making you breathe faster and deeper, even when you're barely moving. According to research from the Cleveland Clinic, shortness of breath during light activity is one of the earliest signs of heart failure, especially in women. The heart muscle, weakened from pushing blood through clogged arteries, begins to wear down. Over time, fluid can build up in the lungs, making breathing even harder. It can sneak up on you. At first, you notice it during a hike, then during a trip to the grocery store. Eventually, you feel breathless just getting dressed in the morning. And by the time it reaches that point, serious damage may have already occurred. What should you do? Start by tracking your breathing. Does it feel harder to breathe during light tasks? Does it take longer to catch your breath after walking? Talk to your doctor. A stress test or echocardiogram could reveal what your lungs already know, that your heart is in trouble. Maria, age 61, thought she was just out of shape. She joined a fitness class to build stamina, but her breathlessness only got worse. One visit later, she learned she had 85% blockage in two arteries. But just knowing this isn't enough because the next symptom is even trickier. It doesn't affect your chest or lungs, it hits your brain, and it can strike without warning. Number 3, dizziness, nausea, or lightheadedness. When the heart cannot pump enough oxygenated blood to the lungs, the body gasps for air. But when it cannot pump enough blood to the brain, the result's even more dangerous. Sudden dizziness, lightheadedness, or nausea may seem harmless at first. You stand up too quickly. You feel woozy while shopping. You get that off-balance feeling when bending over or turning your head. Most people blame it on dehydration or skip meals. But what if the real reason is that your brain is not getting enough blood? According to research from UT Southwestern Medical Center, these symptoms often occur during silent cardiac events, when the arteries that supply the heart or brain are clogged. Blood pressure can drop quickly, and when that pressure falls, so does the flow to your brain. This can cause blurry vision, unsteady balance, and even fainting. Nausea is particularly sneaky. The digestive system needs steady blood flow. But when the heart is in trouble, blood is diverted away from digestion to keep vital organs alive. That sudden sick feeling in your stomach might actually be your heart trying to protect your brain. So what can you do? Keep track of when these symptoms appear. Do they happen during activity or moments of stress? Are they paired with chest pressure or shortness of breath? These patterns matter. If you experience recurring dizziness or nausea without a clear cause, your doctor can run simple cardiac tests to uncover hidden circulatory problems. James, 58, collapsed while walking through the airport. He had been ignoring months of dizzy spells. Doctors found a 90% blockage in a major artery. But just knowing this isn't enough because the next sign often shows up without any pain at all, just a deep, dragging exhaustion that refuses to go away. Number 4, fatigue and cold sweats. Dizziness may warn you that your brain is being starved of oxygen. But what happens when your entire body begins to feel drained, heavy, and strangely weak, even after a full night's sleep? This is not regular tiredness. This is fatigue that feels like your body is stuck in slow motion. Getting out of bed feels like climbing a hill. You walk into the kitchen and need to sit down again. Even conversations feel like too much effort. This kind of deep exhaustion can be one of the earliest signs of arterial blockage, especially in women. Studies from the American Heart Association show that women are more likely to report fatigue and unexplained sweating before a heart attack than chest pain. And then come the cold sweats. This isn't sweat from a hot day or exercise. It comes out of nowhere. You're sitting still and suddenly feel clammy, shaky, or chilled. This is your body triggering a stress response. When blood flow drops, your body releases adrenaline to compensate. That creates a cold, damp sweat as your system goes into emergency mode. So what should you do? Track your energy levels for a week. Are you unusually tired every day? Are you waking up exhausted even after rest? Pair this with unexplained sweating or a racing heart, and it's time to see a doctor. Blood work and a cardiac stress test may reveal what your energy levels are trying to tell you. Deborah, 67, had no chest pain, but she couldn't shake her exhaustion. She pushed through workdays sweating and dizzy. One day she fainted while doing dishes. Doctors discovered a 75% blockage. But just knowing this isn't enough because the next sign hides behind something even more confusing: pain that shows up far away from your chest and fools even the best doctors. Number 5, pain that radiates. Not all pain stays where it starts. In fact, some of the most dangerous heart-related pain shows up in places you would never expect. Your shoulder, your arm, your neck, your jaw, even your upper back or stomach. That's because your heart shares nerve pathways with other areas of your upper body. When the heart is in distress due to blocked arteries, the pain signal spreads. It can feel like heaviness in the left arm, a dull ache in the back, a strange tightness in the jaw, or a burning feeling high in the abdomen that people mistake for heartburn. Many people never connect these symptoms to heart disease. They see a dentist for jaw pain. They take antacids for stomach discomfort. They go to a chiropractor for shoulder stiffness. But the real problem is buried deep in the coronary arteries. The Mayo Clinic has documented that pain spreading beyond the chest is often a red flag for an oncoming heart attack. This is especially true when it follows a pattern. It shows up during exertion and fades with rest. That's the body's way of saying the heart is struggling during physical demand. So what can you do, pay attention to when the pain happens? If it shows up while walking or climbing stairs and goes away when you sit, it is not a muscle issue. It could be your heart. Report these patterns to your doctor. A stress test can uncover the deeper cause. Paul, 62, went to 3 chiropractors for back pain. None of them suspected his heart. He collapsed on his porch while shoveling snow. At the hospital, doctors discovered massive blockage in 2 arteries. But just knowing this isn't enough because the next warning sign doesn't involve pain at all. It starts in your legs and gets worse every time you walk. Number 6, leg pain or cramping. While walking, sometimes the pain moves down the body, away from the chest, away from the arms, and straight into the legs. You go for a walk and feel a deep ache in your calves. Maybe your thighs feel tight or your hips get tired too quickly. You stop for a few minutes and just like that, the pain fades. This is not just sore muscles or aging. It could be a serious warning sign of peripheral artery disease. Known as PAD, this happens when the arteries in your legs become narrowed by plaque, reducing blood flow to the muscles during activity. Doctors at the Cleveland Clinic warn that PAD rarely exists alone. If you have blocked arteries in your legs, there is a strong chance your heart or brain arteries are blocked too. The leg pain is predictable. It appears at the same distance every time you walk, and it improves with rest. That's the classic signature of PAD. Left untreated, the condition can progress fast. At first, it limits your walks. Then it affects your daily routines. Eventually, it can cause tissue damage and lead to non-healing wounds or infections. So what should you do? Track when the pain starts. If it follows the same pattern every time, ask your doctor about an ankle brachial index test. It's simple, it's painless, and it could expose a problem before it leads to long-term damage. Linda, 70, thought her aching calves were from arthritis, but her doctor found severe PAD. A few lifestyle changes and medications later, her walks were pain-free again. But just knowing this isn't enough, because when blood flow drops even further, it begins to show on the outside, right on your skin, your feet and your toes. Number 7, cold feet, color changes, or non-healing sores. If your legs ache while walking, your body is already warning you. But when your skin starts to change color or wounds refuse to heal, that warning becomes urgent. Your circulatory system is now falling behind and your limbs are suffering the consequences. Cold feet are not just about poor circulation from sitting too long or the weather outside. When one foot consistently feels colder than the other, even in warm conditions, it may point to a severe blockage in the arteries feeding that leg. Blood flow is not reaching the tissues the way it should. And then comes the color. Pale toes, bluish patches, or shiny thin skin are signs your body's not getting enough oxygen through the blood. In more advanced cases, sores or ulcers may appear, and they take weeks or months to heal if they heal at all. According to vascular experts at Johns Hopkins, these symptoms often mark the late stages of peripheral artery disease. Left unchecked, they can lead to infections, tissue death, and even amputation. So what can you do? Check your feet daily. Feel for temperature differences. Look for changes in color or texture. If you notice hair loss on the legs or slow healing sores near the toes or ankles, it's time to act. A simple vascular ultrasound can reveal blocked arteries before permanent damage sets in. George, 66, ignored the coolness in his left foot. Months later, a tiny blister turned into a deep infected sore. Surgery saved his leg, but the recovery took over a year. But just knowing this isn't enough, because the next symptom is not visible at all. It strikes silently in men. And it can appear years before any heart or brain issue shows up. Number 8, erectile dysfunction in men. The signs on your skin can be seen, but the signs inside your most personal life are often hidden. Erectile dysfunction is one of the earliest and most overlooked warnings of blocked arteries in men. It is easy to blame it on stress, aging, or hormones. But in many cases, the real reason is this: the blood vessels in the penis are smaller than those in the heart or brain. That means they are often the first to be affected by plaque buildup. And when blood cannot flow properly, their performance problems begin. The Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine reports that men with erectile dysfunction have a significantly higher risk of future heart attacks and strokes. In fact, ED often shows up 3 to 5 years before any other cardiovascular symptoms appear. This is not about embarrassment, it is about awareness. If blood flow is being blocked in one area, it is likely being blocked elsewhere too. The circulatory system does not discriminate. What happens in the groin can be a preview of what is about to happen in the heart. So what should you do if erectile problems appear without an obvious emotional or hormonal cause? Talk to your doctor. A cardiovascular checkup could catch a hidden blockage early. Lifestyle changes, medication, or even simple dietary shifts can improve both circulation and overall health. David, 59, kept his struggles to himself for over a year. It was only after his wife insisted he get checked that doctors found serious arterial narrowing. A few months later, he had a stent placed and his symptoms reversed completely. But just knowing this isn't enough, because the next warning sign comes fast, strikes hard, and leaves no room for delay. A sudden flood of neurological symptoms that feel just like a stroke, even if they vanish hours later. Number 9. Transient ischemic attack or stroke-like symptoms. If erectile dysfunction is the early whisper, a transient ischemic attack is the flashing red light. A TIA, often called a mini-stroke, happens when blood flow to part of your brain is briefly blocked. The symptoms look and feel exactly like a stroke, but then just as quickly they vanish. You may notice sudden numbness in one arm or leg, slurred speech, blurry or lost vision in one eye, a strange confusion, a crooked smile in the mirror. It feels terrifying. But then within minutes or hours it passes, and that's when people make the mistake of ignoring it. According to the American Stroke Association, 1 in 3 people who have a TIA will go on to have a full-blown stroke, often within days or weeks. The problem is not that the symptom disappeared. The real danger is that it appeared at all. That means plaque is already choking blood flow to the brain. So what should you do? Never wait and see. If you or someone near you experiences stroke-like symptoms that resolve quickly, go to the ER immediately. Doctors can do an ultrasound of the carotid arteries, check for clots, and prevent the next attack before it happens. Erica, 63, brushed off a strange episode where her right hand went numb and her speech slurred. She thought she was just tired. 2 weeks later, she had a major stroke that left her in recovery for over 6 months. But just knowing this isn't enough, because the next sign is not gradual or gentle. It is sudden, severe, and if you miss it, you may lose a limb within hours. Number 10. The 6 Ps of acute limb ischemia. If a transient ischemic attack is your brain's final warning, acute limb ischemia is your body's emergency siren. This is not a slow-burning symptom. It strikes fast, hard, and without mercy. Acute limb ischemia happens when an artery supplying blood to your arm or leg becomes completely blocked. In just a few hours, tissues begin to die. If blood flow is not restored quickly, the result could be permanent nerve damage or amputation. Doctors use a simple memory tool called the 6 Ps to spot this condition. Pain is the first and most common symptom, intense, sudden, and often burning. Pallor comes next. The limb turns pale or waxy. Then pulselessness, no pulse, is felt below the blockage. Paresthesia follows, tingling or numbness sets in. Then paralysis, the limb becomes weak or stops moving altogether. And finally, poikilothermia, the limb turns cold because there is no warm blood reaching it. The moment 2 or more of these signs appear, it is a vascular emergency. Every minute counts. If caught early, a surgeon may be able to remove the clot or insert a stent. Wait too long, and the damage becomes permanent. Bill, 65, felt a sharp pain in his right leg while sitting at dinner. Within an hour, his foot was numb and ice cold. At the hospital, doctors found a complete arterial blockage. Thanks to his quick response, they saved his leg. But just knowing this isn't enough, because recognizing these signs is only the beginning. What you do next, how you respond, how fast you act could be the difference between life and loss. Now you know the 10 warning signs that your arteries may be dangerously blocked. From subtle chest pressure to pain in the legs to symptoms that mimic a stroke or digestive issue your body's constantly trying to speak to you. These are not random aches or signs of getting older. They are part of a larger story your heart is trying to tell. And the good news is this: you do not have to wait for a crisis. You can act now. Small changes to your diet, your daily movement, and your mindset can completely shift your future. Get regular checkups. Pay attention to patterns. Speak up if something feels off. The sooner you catch these signs, the better your chances of recovery. We made this video because too many people wait too long. They ignore symptoms until it is too late. But you are here. You are learning. That already puts you ahead of the curve. You now have the power to protect your heart, your brain, your limbs, and your life. If this video helped you, save it to your health playlist right now. Share it with someone you care about. You might save their life too. And don't forget to subscribe. Every week we post new videos on breakthrough foods, heart-friendly habits, and easy health tips designed for people over 50. You will learn simple ways to support your memory, joints, blood pressure, and more, all backed by science and explained clearly. In our next video, we will reveal one food you can eat before bed that naturally lowers blood pressure and clears your arteries overnight. You don't want to miss that. Thank you for watching. Thank you for caring about your health. You are not alone in this. We are here to walk beside you every step of the way.